imagine. I swear, I love you more than you imagine.
How can a 23-year-old friend, a mother, a daughter, be gone so soon? Jamea Harris's mother and stepfather have no answers. Just a day after they lost her, they want the world to know about their princess, Jamea.
I don't want her story to get lost. I don't want her to get lost as just a name in a newspaper. I want people to know who she was and that she was a good person. She really was. She was a good person and she didn't deserve it.
Birmingham resident, 23-year-old Jamea Harris was a humble and happy young woman, a beautiful soul both inside and out. Most importantly, she was the mother to a 5-year-old son who was her everything. Jamea was loved by so many people. Her family considered her the glue that kept all of her cousins together. She would always push them to be the best they could be. Jamea decided to spend the weekend with her boyfriend and her cousin, who attends the University of Alabama. Never could anyone have imagined that this would be a tragic decision. Around 1:45 p.m. on January 15th, Tuscaloosa police and University of Alabama police were dispatched to the Walk of Champions at Bryant-Denny Stadium for reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, they would find an unresponsive woman inside of a vehicle, suffering from a gunshot wound. The victim was identified as 23-year-old Jamea Harris, who was sadly pronounced dead at the scene after being shot to death while inside of her vehicle along the Strip in Tuscaloosa. The Strip is a retail and nightlife district located immediately west of the University of Alabama campus, centered along University Boulevard, stretching roughly between Wallace Wade Avenue to the east and Reed Street to the west. The shooting occurred only a few blocks away from Tuscaloosa's football stadium. According to Tuscaloosa violent crimes captain, the driver, who has not been identified, told police their vehicle had been struck by gunfire. The driver said he had returned fire in self-defense and may have struck a suspect. He continued to drive along University Boulevard and stopped for help when he spotted a University of Alabama police officer's vehicle at the Walk of Champions at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Investigators determined that the shooting happened in the 400 block of Gray Street off of University Boulevard. After speaking with multiple witnesses and viewing video surveillance, detectives identified 2 suspects. Both were located and interviewed. One suspect was found to have indeed been struck by gunfire and had a non-life-threatening wound that was treated at a local hospital. According to detectives, the shooting appeared to be a result of a minor argument that occurred between the victims and suspects after they encountered each other along the Strip. University of Alabama basketball player 21-year-old Darius Miles of Washington, D.C. is one of 2 suspects charged with capital murder in Jamea's slaying. The second suspect has been identified as 20-year-old Michael Lynn Davis of Charles County, Maryland. The 2 are being charged with capital murder because Jamea Harris was shot at while she was inside of a moving vehicle. In Alabama, the intentional murder of a person committed by or through the use of a deadly weapon while the victim is in a vehicle is capital murder. Neither of the victims are affiliated with the University of Alabama. Alabama head basketball coach Nate Oates meets with the media twice a week to talk about upcoming games his Crimson Tide are playing. The most recent press conference following the shooting mentioned very little about the 4th-ranked Tide's game Tuesday at Vanderbilt. Oates instead spent most of the news conference addressing the arrest of his former player, Darius Miles. He said the 4th-ranked Crimson Tide were going through a grieving process. Although he couldn't go into specifics, he said he spoke with Miles' mother multiple times on Sunday and met with the team that night. He said, "We thought it was important that we were all here and around to support one another through this situation," saying that the team didn't ask many questions and that they understood the severity of the situation with Jamea. They also understand the severity of the situation with Darius. There's both sides of it, dealing with it. Students and residents of the Tuscaloosa area and the University of Alabama were shocked, as they were not used to incidents such as this. Jamea's family was in complete disbelief. They never thought something like this would happen to their loved one. In a Facebook post, her mother said that one of the suspects took her baby's life because she wouldn't talk to him. She ended her post by saying, "We just ask for prayers at this time." In an interview with a reporter from WVCM, Jamea's mother describes how just days ago, Jamea was doing her best to teach her 5-year-old son how to ride his new bike without training wheels. He was so close to accomplishing that goal. Now her son will seek guidance from his grandparents because his loving mother's life was taken from her at the blink of an eye due to senseless violence. The story has drawn national attention and is a tragedy in every way, especially for Jamea's son, who has yet to be informed that he will never see his mother again. Jamea's mother recounts during the interview that Jamea's son has been looking for his mom, but she just doesn't have the heart to tell him. "Maybe tomorrow," she said, while staring at Jamea's son as he watched cartoons. His bicycle leaned against the wall of their home.
DeCarla Hurd and her husband Kelvin wished Jamea well on Saturday as she headed to Tuscaloosa with her boyfriend and cousin. In the early hours of Sunday, Jamea was gone.
It's just a dagger through everybody's heart.
DeCarla knew years ago her daughter was going to be something, from being a cheer dancer at Winona High School to way back in preschool when she named herself Princess Jamea.
Everything that she did, they followed behind her.
Leader.
A leader.
That leader grew to be the mother of a 5-year-old son named Kane, a son she leaves just as she was teaching him to master his holiday gift.
She was just now starting to get him to teach him how to ride a bike. He got his first bike this Christmas with training wheels. She was just now starting to teach him how to ride his bike.
And the most heartbreaking thing ever, the young boy still doesn't know that he's lost his mama.
That sweet boy, I just don't know how we're going to have to find the strength to tell him. And he's starting to look around for his mother. And
you just don't know how to tell.
A 23-year-old mother is gone. And now, DeCarla and Kelvin are fighting the fight.
I will fight for justice for this senseless act from both suspects.
Not
involved.
just for her, but for her son as well. They need to know that she wasn't just a random person. She was a mother. She had a child at home waiting on her.
That son and the entire family wishing that a beautiful life never had to leave.
Like I said, she was just full of life. She had so much life to live. And it's just hard. It's hard to think that we won't have it again.
Princess Jamea was everything. Friend, mother, daughter, and more.
She was 23, but that was my baby, and I was still raising my baby to make her a good mother, you know. Yeah. So I'll never be the same person again.
Following her death, Jamea's mother created a GoFundMe aimed at raising $5,000 to support her son and has since raised close to $10,000. In the fundraiser description, her mother says, "I was asked to up this fundraiser to assist with the care of my daughter's son. Her life was taken from her at the young age of 23 in a senseless, cowardly act. She leaves behind a 5-year-old son that will never know how beautiful his mother was, inside and out. She had the heart of gold and was loved by all. It's no way to express how much she will be missed. I thank everyone that has reached out with their prayers and condolences, and I appreciate however you would like to help."
We just heard like a bunch of pop, 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 and people just started running.
UA students shocked.
Don't think something like that can happen like right outside your apartment.
And students were also shocked to find out Darius Miles is one of the 2 charged with capital murder. Miles was in his 3rd year with the Crimson Tide basketball team. The 21-year-old has been removed from the roster and from campus.
It's really a tragedy all around, but especially for Jamea and her family. Wish we weren't having to address this situation. But, we got to pull together as a team at this point and have each other's, really be there for each other.
Also charged, 20-year-old Michael Davis. Police say he is not affiliated with the university. also not saying who pulled the trigger.
For the investigation right now, we won't be releasing that. Both of them are both charged with capital murder, both being criminally culpable for this young lady's death.
Both suspects taken away in handcuffs. Davis was silent, but Miles was emotional.
I swear.
His attorney releasing a statement saying Miles and his family are heartbroken, but also saying he maintains his innocence.
A bad decision can cause you to have a lifelong consequence that you may not ever recover from.
Matthew Wilson, the Tuscaloosa City Councilman for the district where it happened, reacting to the news of a young mother killed.
One who will never ever see her child grow up, never see her child go to school again, never see her child graduate from high school, go to prom, have a 16th birthday.
I also spoke with Jamea Harris's aunt, Tracy Smith, who described her niece as a smart and beautiful young lady with a bright future. Harris leaves behind her 5-year-old son, Kane, who Smith says was her world, telling us the love and bond between the two was unimaginable.
I hurt for my district. I hurt for the people who have lost their family members. But there will be a reckoning day. And I trust and believe that justice is going to be served.
Miles's father, David Miles, made this post to his public Facebook account earlier today, thanking people for their support. He also wrote, "I know it's a daunting task, but if anyone that is a friend of Tracy, Darius, or mine that is financially capable to be in Tuscaloosa tomorrow when we go before the judge for support, it will be greatly appreciated." The father is known in the area as a basketball coach. We did go to his home to speak with David Miles, but he declined to comment. Attorneys for Darius Miles say the 20-year-old D.C. native maintains his innocence. Alabama's head coach said today that Miles had been out for a couple of weeks during the season and back in D.C. to deal with a separate personal matter. And then just Saturday, he was ruled out for the rest of the season for an ankle injury. Then he's arrested for the fatal shooting on Sunday. Miles dismissed from the team immediately after.
In a statement released by the university following the incident, they said the following: "The University of Alabama's utmost priority is the safety and well-being of the campus community. We are grieved by the incident that occurred near campus last night and extend our deepest condolences to the victim's family and friends. We were made aware of the recent charge against student-athlete Darius Miles, and he is no longer a member of the Alabama men's basketball team. Athletics, in conjunction with the university, is fully cooperating with this investigation. The university will offer comprehensive emotional and mental health support resources." Tuscaloosa violent crimes captain said that a bond would not initially be set in this case. He said defense lawyers could request a probable cause hearing in Tuscaloosa County District Court and that a judge could consider bail at a later time. The case remains ongoing.